Well, good morning, everyone. It's Kay Kalthoff, and welcome to a Stampin' Chat with Kay. I am going to feature a stamp set in our Occasions catalog, and you are not going to believe it, but I am using every single stamp in the stamp set. Let me just check how many there are. There are 16 stamps in that stamp set. And I'm going to use every single one of them today. So my desk is just a pile of inks and blocks, and oh my gosh, I hope I can keep it all straight. It's going to probably be a struggle, but we'll see how it goes. I'm really excited to share these two cards with you. Thank you so much for joining me. Looks like we have a nice little group to get started already. I've got a couple of cards that came in my mailbox that I'll be sharing with you. So that's kind of exciting. I always love to do that. So, you know, if you send a card to me, there's a good chance it's going to show up on a Facebook Live. And then, of course, I kind of glance over to my little pile over there on the other side of the room. I have a lot of them that I still haven't put on my Facebook page, because once I show them on a Facebook Live, then I like to upload them to my page, but I get so behind on that. I don't know. I just, you know, there's just only so many hours in the day, and then there's family. And I'm a pretty big family person, so I always put that ahead of my business. Well, would you guys like to hear the news? Are you on pins and needles? No, you're probably not. But I've been on pins and needles for the last few days. Starting last week, I could see that my sales coming in for May were pretty strong, and I was pretty excited because I knew that I was very close to earning the Stampin' Up! Incentive trip to Maui in 2020. And on Sunday afternoon, it happened, and I'm so excited. So congratulations to Nancy, one of my customers from Tennessee, who placed the order to tip me onto earning the incentive trip for 2020. So it was very, very exciting. My family and I celebrated immediately. Of course, it took me, I wasn't on Facebook much on Sunday afternoon, even though I should have been, or not Facebook, but on the Stampin' Up! Demo site. Actually, I just wasn't even using my phone hardly at all on Sunday afternoon, so I really only found out about supper time. But we did celebrate once we checked my stats. So it was a very exciting time. So thank you, everyone. All of my wonderful supportive customers, and of course I couldn't do this without the support of my family and all of my friends and my downline. And you guys make these Facebook Lives so worth watching with your comments, your likes, your shares, your hearts. So thank you so much for that. So I think, is it about time? I think it's about time for me to flip that camera down, and we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you for the congratulations that are coming through. I truly appreciate it. It really, I don't know, it's really an amazing company to be with, Stampin' Up! Is. And so I felt like I've been with other direct sales companies in the past. You guys may not know this, but I used to be a consultant for Mary Kay Cosmetics. I was actually a Mary Kay consultant for 26 years, and I loved it. I still use their products. And then I was also a Creative Memories consultant for 10 years, and I quit that in 2007 and decided to join Stampin' Up! So I have had some experience with direct sales companies, but I have to say, I mean, I did pretty well with those other companies, but there's just nothing like earning a trip. And I don't even feel like I'm working when I'm doing Stampin' Up! Because it's my passion, it's my hobby, it's something I did for 7 years before I even joined Stampin' Up! And so for those of you that are kind of on the fence, whether you're my customer or whether you're some other demonstrator's customer and you're thinking about joining Stampin' Up!, I encourage you to contact myself if you're my customer, or I encourage you to contact your demonstrator and just check into it. It was a journey that just started with a single decision, and that was to get the starter kit. So I wish you love and blessings and much joy on your Stampin' journey, whether it involves becoming a demonstrator or not. But it has been a true great journey for myself and my family. So I'm going to flip the camera down. Enough of this chit chat. My heart's just so full of love to share a little bit more about Stampin' Up! It is truly a great place to be. Okay, so Let me get the camera flipped and we'll get started. All right, so let's start with some cards I got in the mail. This one is from a person who used to be my customer. Her name is Dar Fraley, and she actually goes to one of my downline members now, but every occasional once in a while she'll send me a card just because she loves to stamp and send cards. So she sent this pretty card to me. I'm not sure what products she used, but I did want to share it with you because I thought it was so pretty. And of course I'll have it on display in on my special shelf where I get all of these little love cards from my customers and downline. So thank you so much, Dar. It's beautiful and I love it. The next card that I want to share with you is from a downline member that is one of my downline's recruits. And so she's not actually in my group because she's 4th level to me, but her name is Judy Reesing, and I was invited to attend one of her upline's monthly demonstrator meetings where I gave a talk about melding your passions with Stampin' Up. And Judy took that to heart because one of her other passions besides Stampin' Up is photography. And so she decided to take some of the information from my talk and meld her passions. So she created this beautiful card using a photo that she had taken from her passion for photography, and she added a thank you from the bottom of my heart stamped image with an embellishment from Stampin' Up to meld her 2 passions. So very beautiful and lots of fun. I'm so grateful for Judy, and it was so nice of her to write such a endearing thank you note on the inside for being a speaker at her upline's demo meeting. So that was really neat. So thank you again, Judy. I love it. All right, so let's look at the cards we're making today. Here they are, Flowering Desert. You might wonder why in the world someone from Minnesota would want the Flowering Desert stamp set. And I'll tell you why. Because many of my customers have 2 addresses. They have one address in the winter, which usually comes from places like Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, California, all those, Florida, all those warm, wonderful places. And then their summer addresses in Minnesota where they maybe grew up or where their family live. And so when I saw the stamp set, I was like, oh gosh, I have to get this for all of my snowbirds. So I did, and then of course promptly didn't do anything with it, I'm ashamed to say. But then my daughter graduated from college, and her roommate is absolutely nuts about cactuses. And so I thought, well, goodness sakes, I need to create a cactus card in honor of her graduating. And so I did. So I made this card especially for Casey's roommate, Michaela, because she loves, loves, loves cactuses. And it says congratulations at the bottom, and I'm not sure what stamp set this is from because I just was looking for a congratulations and found one that fit and looks nice on the style of card. And then on the inside it says you're so awesome, so it has some little cactuses on the inside as well. So this is the first card I'm going to make today, except instead of the congratulations, we will use the hi there from the stamp set. The second card that I'll make today is this one, and it's just really pretty. I'm going to do something a little different on the video. I'm going to do something different with the bottom here, so we'll see how that goes. Right now I have a little strip of Call Me Clover 1/8 inch green grosgrain ribbon, and it was kind of a nutty hassle to attach that and get the card looking right, because when you're working with 1/8 inch, you guys, I tell you, it is hard to get that very evenly spaced so it looks like a perfect line at the bottom. And doesn't it and it does look like a perfect line, but I probably futzed around for 5 minutes to get it to look like that. So I thought, oh boy, we have to do something different on the video. So we'll do something a little different and a little easier for you, but still have that nice green accent at the bottom. So I'll teach you how to do that. However, I'm not sure, again, what I'm going to do as my giveaway. So it's going to be a surprise. I have the cards, and I'm going to give away one of each for our winners. And then I'm not sure what I'll put in the little giveaway. So no worries, you guys will love it. So how do you get in on the giveaway? Well, I'll do the drawing on Thursday morning, and all you have to do is share this video on your timeline in Facebook, or you can go ahead and comment on the video. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know if you've purchased the Flowering Desert stamp set and what your plans are for it. Maybe you live in Arizona, so this was an obvious choice for you. Or possibly you're like me, living in the northern clime and just are wishing for a little desert sun right now. I'm looking outside. I'm wondering if we're ever going to get warm weather here in Minnesota. We've had some sporadically nice days, and then the rest have just been crappy. So here it is, the stamp set. And look at this, you guys. I don't know that I've ever done this. Every single stamp is going to be in use on these two cards. So kind of crazy, right? So let's go ahead and get started. As I mentioned, we'll be creating this card first. So some of the inks that we'll be using are Call Me Clover, and then we're going to be using Mango Melody, and let's see if there's another one. Yes, there is. We're going to be using Memento Tuxedo Black, and finally we'll be using Garden Green. So we are going to start by getting the supplies out. So the card base is Mango Melody, and it looks like this. Let me get it out here. So there's no big shot work on this at all. It's a pretty much simple stamping card, which, you know, not even a lot of supplies here. So we've got our card base at 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Pretty basic here. And then we have the inside panel that I think we're just going to go ahead and stamp and get that out of the way because it's pretty simple stamping here on the inside panel. So this is 4 by 5 1/4, which is 1/4 inch smaller than the inside panel. So you have that nice border. And what we're going to do first is stamp You're So Awesome. So I'm going to get, and by the way, guys, you are so awesome. Thank you again for joining me today. So we have our Tuxedo Black, and I'm just going to ink up You're So Awesome, because you are. We're going to stamp this right here. You know what? I'm going to stamp it off once, just make sure. Yep, it looks good. So let me go ahead and stamp this about 1/3 of the way down on this panel of Whisper White paper. And what else do we want to do with that? Hold on. We are going to now stamp some cacti, however you say it. All right, so we're going to need Garden Green. So I've got that right here. And we'll just flip open this stamp pad, and we're going to grab this kind of prickly pear looking thing. We're going to ink it up. Just gonna make sure it looks good. Yes, it does. So we'll ink that up. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm not gonna stamp that one first. Let me show you what the inside looks like. It has this little bright Call Me Clover kind of succulent looking thing. So I'm gonna stamp that first so I know where that needs to go. So I've got my Call Me Clover ink, and here it is. I'm going to call this a succulent. I think it is. Yes. It looks like a succulent. So we'll set that right here. Perfect. And now we're going to switch out our inks. We're going to grab the Garden Green, and we'll ink this up. And we're just going to go full strength, kind of at an angle like this. That looks good. Don't worry, you guys. This all looks better once it's dried a little bit because it does fade down. It won't be quite so dark. And then we're going to take this little guy here. And I think we're going to stamp him off once and do a second generation to give a little bit of tonality to this, so it doesn't all look exactly the same tone. And the next thing that we're going to do is grab our Mango Melody ink pad, and we're going to stamp a little bloom at the top. And so I don't know if these are blooms or if they're actually pieces of the prickly pear or what, but it does say Flowering Desert in the title, so I'm going to assume this is some kind of bloom. So I'm just going to stamp that. Oh, we'll just put that one right here. There it is. We've got our blooming, flowering desert flower for the inside panel of our card. You guys, this is going to take a little bit longer, this video, because I have to make sure I'm getting my inks back where they need to go. I'm already lost. Oh yes, I put this ink in the wrong pad, so hold on. We don't want to mess things up. Okay, so here it is, and we're just going to take some snail now. Oh, somebody is telling me who is familiar with desert plants that this little plant down here is a succulent. It's a type of yucca plant. Oh, that's so good to know. So this is just going to, oh, you guys, can you believe what I just did? I just stamped it on the wrong size piece of paper. I don't know how I did that. Okay, so this is not 4 by 5 1/4, but it could be. It looks like it is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. So yeah, we goofed up, but that's okay. It still looks good. In fact, it probably looks better because there's a little bit bigger of a Mango Melody border around it. So yes, I goofed up there, but that's okay. Hopefully I have some spares for my inside, but I don't. That's okay. All right, so let's go on to the next part. And the next part is we have a 1/2 inch strip of Mango Melody paper, and we are going to stamp the little sentiment up at the top. And so we're going to, again, grab Tuxedo Black ink. You guys, you know what? The one thing about Facebook Lives is it forces me to be super real. I make mistakes just like everybody else. People have always said, oh, you're so perfect. I couldn't do what you do. Oh my gosh, I am so far from perfect. I make mistakes continuously, like every day, every hour of every day, I swear. All right, so we've got the high there, and we are going to stamp that on that 1/2 inch strip, and it may go out of the picture because I'm going to try and get my head over it, so I make sure that I stamp it where I want it to be stamped. And there it is. So I'll put it back up here so you can see. Just a little 1/2 inch strip. And then I have to use my ribbon scissors because my regular good scissors for paper cutting is on the other side of the room and I don't feel like getting up. So we're going to take the ribbon. See, another mistake, you guys. Everybody can do this. All right, so now we're just going to take this little scissors, snip up in the middle, and make a little pennant. So then from each corner, go to the middle, and then you have a little pennant. All right, there it is. So cute. Now we're just going to set this little sentiment aside for a second because we've got more stamping to do. So we need to stamp all of those lovely cactuses that you see on the front of this card. We have a 3.5 inch by 4 3/4 inch panel of Whisper White. And as you can see, I worked ahead a little bit because it was going to be a lot of cactus stamping. So I will still stamp cactuses, but I won't stamp them, quite so many of them for you, because once you've stamped a cactus, you know how to do it. So I'll just do this one over here that I've just gotten started. So again, we're going to need the garden green ink, And I have no idea if cactuses really are garden green, or, you know, if I'm just imagining that they are, but whatever the case, it's kind of fun. I'm going to get some scrap paper here because some of these images are second generation images, which means you'll need the second generation. So I'm going to start by stamping a second generation image right here. So I'm going to stamp off once, and then I'm going to stamp it just like this. There we go. Isn't it cute? It's already so cute. I love it. Then we're going to take this really long cactus arm and we're going to ink it up. And I will show you something. Let me stamp it on scrap and show you. So these cactuses, at first when I first looked at them, you guys, I thought, well, it doesn't matter which way they go because it just looked like little blobs to me. I couldn't really tell that there was an up or a down. But after I was working with the stamp set, I did notice that there is kind of a squared off end, and I think that's where the cactus is technically supposed to attach to the cactus that you're building. So this is kind of like a builder stamp set where you're kind of building different angles and things. But I don't think it really super matters because I've done it both ways where I have some of them attached at the arm where you would think it should be, and then I think I've done it the other way where it doesn't look like, you know, it's probably not done the proper way, but you guys, it still looks good. That's what's so good about this cactus set, so it doesn't really matter that much. So I've got another little cactus arm here, but I'm going to flip him upside down and put the flat part more to the top so I can stamp a little flower on there. So we're going to stamp that one right here. And see, now I sort of have that little flat area that I think is supposed to attach to the cactus, but I have that going upwards. And I'm going to stamp a little flower on top of it. So I'm going to use Melon Mango. Is it Melon Mango? No. Mango Melody. Good Lord. All right, we'll put that right here. Cute. And you know what? We have some other little flowers we can stamp over here. So I'm going to put one maybe here. And then we'll grab, there's another little one that looks sort of like a flower. Like I said, I don't know if these are flowers or just part of the cactus plants, but I think you can do whatever you want with it. So we'll put one there, and then we'll put another one here. Just adds some pretty little bursts of color as you're creating your cactus. Then we're going to take that sort of elephant ear shape cactus. We're going to put this one right here. And then we're going to grab this one again, this kind of long, I think it looks sort of like a cucumber. We're going to stamp that one here. Looks good. And then we're going to again take that little elephant ear and we're going to stamp off once, give a little bit more variation here because I've used full strength now for a while, so I'm going to go with some other little bit lighter. So we've got a little piece kind of going off to the right, and now we're going to take a little baby elephant ear, stamp that off once as well, and we'll put that over here, get it a little bit balanced. There we go. Perfect. Now we're going to add a flower right here at the top. So I'm going to ink up in, you know, I don't know why I'm having trouble remembering the name of this today. It's Mango Melody. So we're going to ink up a Mango Melody flower and just set this right here. There. Doesn't that look good, you guys? I think it does. All right, so now the next thing is to stamp the little succulent down here, the little yucca plant. And we're going to do that in Call Me Clover. So I've got the Call Me Clover right here. And we're going to set that so it's sort of tilted off to the right. And give that a press. And there it is. All right. Yay! That cactus is done. So now we're going to put this panel onto a panel of Call Me Clover cardstock. This is 3 11/16 by 4 15/16. Yes, again, some crazy numbers. But I thought 3/16 of an inch looked so much cuter than 1/4 of an inch. So that's why we've got the crazy numbers. But if that bugs you, you could also do basically 3 3/4 by 5 and make it a 1/4 inch border. But you guys always tell me you like my measurements, so that's what they are. All right, so I'm going to take some snail again, and we are just going to add this Whisper White panel right here. Make sure all those borders are nice and even, and that looks good. Press that down, and now we're going to take this little banner strip that says hi there. We'll add a little bit of snail to the back of that, and we're going to set it in so it looks like this, just maybe a little bit, maybe right around a 1/4 inch from this white bottom. And then we're going to flip it over, trim that little tab off, and then we're going to set it on our card, and our card will be done. And we're going to set it on our card with some dimensionals. So now I have a second while I'm peeling dimensionals to actually look at my screen again. Oh, you guys like the colors. Wonderful. Thank you. Yes, Call Me Clover, Garden Green, and Mango Melody turned out to look really good together. I didn't know that they would, but they do. So that's kind of fun. So we'll put this here so that all of our borders are nice and even, and our card is complete. And this is going to be my giveaway on Thursday. So one of you will win this, and I'll do this as the first drawing winner. So they'll get this card plus a gift. I don't know what the gift will be, but it'll be something. Probably ribbon, because I always look for things that are nice and easy to mail. All right, let's work on this next card. So we will be using not only the Flowering Desert stamp set, but we are also going to use, and this is called Stitched Rectangle Framelets, Thinlets, Dies, something like that. That's what it's called. I think in the new catalog they're referring to all of these as dies. So we don't say thinlets and framelets anymore, but out of habit I tend to. So we're going to just use one of these, and I think it's going to be the 3rd largest one. Let me double check. Yes, it is the 3rd largest from this big section here. That is what we're using on our die cutting machine. So let's get started making that one. So I'm going to set aside a few of the things we will not need here. So I will not need any of the tuxedo black, so I'm going to put that away and get it off my desk. And where is it? Are we using everything else? Goodness, I think we are. Holy schmoly. Plus we're adding some new colors. We are also going to add in the mint macaron, and we're going to add in some Coastal Cabana and some Old Olive. So holy smokes, I still have a lot of ink pads on my desk. All right, so let's go ahead and make this second card, which is really pretty. We'll see how we did here with the prep work. All right, so let's look at the inside panel and just do that first, get it out of the way. So we're gonna start with a card base that's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then we've got our inside panel, and this does have the nice wide border. So I think I just ended up cutting 2 of those, one for one panel and one for the other, or one for one card and one for the other card. So we're going to put this on the inside, and let me move this out of the way. We're going to stamp this first. So again, it's a Whisper White panel, 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And we're going to bring our Stampin' mat in because, again, we're working with photopolymer stamps, and that's usually good for those sort of stamps when you want to have a little bit of a mat, because there's no cushion on photopolymer, so that's why we use mats. And then I will have to bring my scrap paper in. I'll have to grab it here because we are going to be stamping off a little bit. So I'm inking up this flower, this little, I don't know, it looks like it's got little beads on it, but I'm gonna ink that up and just stamp this down here in the corner. And that was done with Old Olive, in case I didn't mention it. And then we're going to take these kind of little feathery things, and we're going to use Mango Melody again, and we're going to stamp some of these little feathery pieces right here. So I think I'll do my first one like this, and we're just stamping it right over the top of that Old Olive piece. We just want to add a little color down here. And then we're going to take the other little segment that's sort of feathery and stamp another little piece there. Maybe another one here. There it is. That's really all there is to it. So you've got your little eye-catching corner down here. Then we're going to take our sentiment, which says be your own kind of beautiful, and stamp that with Call Me Clover. So let me get some of these things out of the way. And this is the card. This is the second card that I'll send to my second winner on Thursday. There it is. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty and so fun. So now we're going to go back to our card base. Again, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, and this is Coastal Cabana. So another color that we're working with here. And we're going to flip this over, add a little bit of snail to the top, and we're going to put this on the inside panel of our card. There we go. Looks really pretty. Now we're going to prep the front panel of our card, and we're going to do that with some little tone-on-tone stamping with something that sort of looks like sand, or maybe it looks a little bit like those little cactus needles that are on cactuses. I'll show you what it looks like here. So I'll stamp it up here, and yeah, it kind of looks like the little needles you see on cactuses. So we're going to put a few of those onto this. So I'm just going to fold the front of my card here, and we're going to stamp those just randomly up here in the corner. And then we're going to do the same thing down here in this corner. So tone-on-tone stamping. I'm using Coastal Cabana ink, and then I've got my Coastal Cabana cardstock. There we go. So nothing much to that. And that's all. Well, do we need Coastal Cabana for anything else? No, we don't. So I get to put that ink pad away, which I'm going to do, so I have a little more room on my desk. Okay, so here we are. Thank you, everyone. Some of you are catching me a little bit late. You know what? That is totally fine. Do you know why? Because you can always catch this on the rebroadcast. I don't do my drawing for about 48 hours, sometimes even longer. And then anybody who comments, and you know what? I have to say this. I only do this through my Facebook page at Stamping to Share on Facebook. I do share this on my blog and also on YouTube, but the drawing is held at my Stamping to Share Facebook page based on those comments. All right, so now you're going to need a scrap of Whisper White, and you need it big enough to fit this stitched shape rectangle. Then you're going to run it through your die cutting machine, and you are going to get a stitched shape rectangle, and that's what we're going to do our stamping on. So let me go ahead and again grab my Stampin' mat, and we're going to get the mint macaron, and we're going to stamp this. Oh boy, here's a word I don't say very often. We'll see how it goes. I should have done this on Google. You know how on Google you can go to a place where you can learn how to pronounce things? Oh, brother. We'll see how I do. I think it's called a saguaro? Saguaro? Oh my gosh. I have no idea. You guys, I know how to say pink lady slipper. That's the Minnesota state flower. The saguaro cactus? I don't know. I don't know how to say it. I'm sure somebody will correct me, or you guys, just Google it and you'll find out. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this mint macaron saguaro cactus onto this panel, this stitched shape, rectangular shaped panel. And we're gonna just put it on like this. Give it a good press, be very patient, wait until the ink goes into your cardstock. Roz is trying to help me. Guerrero? Oh, Lord, I have no idea. I don't think I'm even saying it the way she wants me to say it. Sorry, Roz. I know. Sagraro. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. You guys, those of you that know me, my downline in particular, I can't pronounce things. I can't spell things. It's just pitiful. I don't know how I ever made it through school. All right, so now we're going to take this really like kind of sticky looking thing, and we are just going to stamp some little mango melody stick looking things here. So I'm keeping it about even with the bottom of my cactus, and we'll just add some little, I don't know, stickish looking things here coming up. Okay, pretty. Look at that. It's so much fun because this is quite a builder set, so you can really build a lot of different shapes. Then we're going to take our old olive ink, and we are going to take, I think this is old olive. No, it isn't. Let me grab my old olive. Where did it go? Oh, yes, here it is. So we've got the old olive ink, and we're going to ink up this little, I don't know, some kind of succulent with all these little balls on. And we are going to stamp that just like this. Pretty. That worked out nicely. Then we're going to stamp that yucca plant. See, I can say yucca. So we're going to stamp the yucca plant with Call Me Clover ink. You guys are being so patient. Thank you. So this is the Call Me Clover ink, and we're going to take the yucca, and we're going to just set this right here at the base of our cactus. Just like so. And again, this all looks better once the ink has a chance to dry, because it does need just the teeniest bit of dry time. Okay, so now for the sentiment, which is going to be You're So Awesome. So we're going to set this aside, and you're going to need another scrap of Whisper White paper. Hold on, let me move a few ink pads here. And then you're going to need that stitch rectangle framelit or thinlet or die, whatever the Stampin' Up! Wants us to call it now. So take your little scrap of Whisper White, and you're going to run that through the Big Shot machine. And then when you do, you have something, ta-da, that looks like this. And then you're going to cut that into 1-inch strips. So I cut off the bottom and the top, and then I went through and just cut off some 1-inch strips. And what does this do for you? It gives you a sentiment that will be the exact same length as your stitched rectangle die cut, and it will have the stitching on the side. See? So that'll fit just perfectly onto that panel, and we're going to end up putting that like right here. Shoot, you know what? I should have stamped that a little higher because it looks like, shoot, you guys, I didn't stamp it high enough, so this isn't going to have, well, you know what? I've got an idea. All right, so we're gonna change the mode here and do this a little differently, but that's okay. So then you also want a scrap of Call Me Clover cardstock, and then you're going to get a stitched rectangle that looks like this, and you're going to cut 1 inch from the bottom of it. See how I did that? So I've got the Call Me Clover, and I'm going to cut 1 inch off the bottom because I want to have kind of a really pretty bottom to this card. So this is going to work out great. So let's go ahead and make this. I don't know, this might even work out better than what I initially thought I was going to do. So I'm going to put this here. I'll actually put it here so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to take the Call Me Clover ink again. And now I am searching all over my desk looking for You're So Awesome. And I feel like I used it. Oh, I did. I used it with Tuxedo Black. So give me a second here. I'm going to stamp off. Do I even have a chamois handy? I do not. So we'll hope that this is good enough. So I stamped it off. So it's pretty clean. And then I'm going to put it into my Call Me Clover. Normally I would use my simple chamois and make sure it's actually really clean, but I don't have it handy. So we're going to stamp You're So Awesome right in the center of this 1-inch strip that we created from our scrapped stitched rectangle. And then we're going to put this, let me get the snail here, just add a little snail to the back and put this so that it's right at the bottom. There we go. So I'm lining it up perfectly with the sides and I've got it perfect. So it's flush to the bottom, but yet the stitch shape is still showing up on the sides, the stitched pieces. Then we're going to take this little green piece here and adding some snail again. We want about a 1/4 inch showing at the bottom. So now I'm going to just set this right here. Make sure everything is perfectly lined up. And we're just going to extend this panel just the tiniest bit so that we have something that sort of looks, I don't know, it sort of gives it an anchor so that it just looks really good this way. All right, and then what we're going to do, oh my gosh, this turned out perfect. Sometimes it's really good to have things not work out so that you can find a better way to work them out. Did I just say that? Wow, that was almost profound. All right, so I'm going to flip it over and we are going to put this on with dimensionals. All right, I'll have to go back and listen to this so I can write that down because, of course, I can't remember it now, but it was pretty good at the time, unless I'm just hallucinating here. So we're going to take the little peelies off. And then we're going to bring this card front back in. And we're going to set this right here. Oh my goodness, you guys, how beautiful. So this will be the second card that I give away on Thursday. And look at how nice it looks. Now here's the first card that I did. And like I said, it was so fussy with the 1/8 inch ribbon that I did not want to do that on a YouTube video. So I thought, you know what, I can still add that little piece of Call Me Clover to the bottom, just like this, and just make it as a base. And it just sort of anchors the whole image so that it looks really nice. So you have a really nice looking image panel. So let me put the cards out for you to see, because we have them done. And they're so beautiful. And I've seen you guys put so many nice comments on here. Thank you so much. Again, I'll do the drawing on Thursday. And I truly appreciate you. Thank you everyone for stopping by today. And you guys have a great day. Now remember, the Occasions catalog is going to be retiring on June 3rd. And so this stamp set did not carry over into the new catalog. So if you have a few snowbirds in your life that like to winter up north, or I'm sorry, summer up north, winter down south, this is a great stamp set to brighten their day, either as a gift or to create cards to give them. So you guys have a great day and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.